Hey friends, my name's Aaron Ciotti. Something ain't on. Nothing's on over here. Hey, now we're cooking. Welcome to Whoop Wednesday. We're going to be taking a look at the Wandering Whoop today. Very cool little wandering TinyWhoop that gets sent to all different pilots. And what a cool little project. Everybody gets to make one significant change to it. I think mine is going to be the micro V antenna. And so, yeah, that's the plan for tonight. It's Q&A live stream as they all are. And then we're going to fly a bunch of batteries. Speaking of, I got to get a few batteries on the charger here. Wandering Whoop is on 0702 32,000 kV motors. So let's fly a bunch of 260s on it. How's that sound? I will charge 4 260s and 2 300s. And we'll blast this thing around the basement, see how it is. We took a quick look at it on Monday's live stream, but we're going to really dive into it tonight. I'm actually going to put Betaflight 4.5 on it so that I can hopefully bind to it. Because I could not get into bind mode to save my life towards the end of the stream on Monday. And that's going to be kind of important if I'm going to fly it. So yeah, I think the solution is going to be Betaflight 4.5. What's cool is it's on a Mobula 6 2024 AIO. And so I'm just going to take a dump off of my Mobula 6 2024. And that'll save me a bunch of time. Not a dump, a diff. Sorry, I'm going to take a diff. I just wanted to say I'm going to take a dump, if I'm honest. So that's the plan for tonight. What do you think of that? I'm exhausted. My God. I just got in the door. In the chat, Spaceman Spiff was first. Weber FPV was next. Bird Person, Frank Nicholas, RC Thrills, FPV Toast, Rays, Morton Upshot, Douglas 6, Brent Anderson, Brandon's Baked Beans, Flakadelic, Render, Siskel, 7-0, Everyday with Bruno, Wandering FPV, Jake FPV, Curtis Hayes, Uriel, 661. Who else do we have here? Afeel is in the house. 661, Brandon's Baked Beans. Mape with a $1.99 super chat. Thank you, brother. He says, favorite 2S motor of all time and current. I mean, there just sort of isn't. There's all kinds of different use cases to use disgusting inter-industry jargon that makes me want to vomit. So yeah, like I don't really have like a favorite per se, because there are 2S motors for TinyWhoops, there's 2S motors for toothpicks, there's 2S motors for CiottiFPV style rigs, right? And so they're kind of all over the place. Mape, tag me, type CiottiFPV and tell me what you're looking to build. And that'll get you a much better response rather than just like, what's the best motor ever. Tell me what you're building and I'll be able to recommend something that's a little bit better for you. But make sure you tag me. If you guys want to talk to me, just type CiottiFPV into your message, and for me it'll light up an orange. You can do that with each other. If you type, if your chat message is like, hey guys, I was working in Premiere earlier and I went to render a file and it's corrupt now, the word render is going to show up in orange for the guy in chat named Render. So, choose wisely how you use the names of the people in the chat. Definitely don't, use their names over and over and over. Definitely don't force certain people's names in chat into as many of your messages as possible, because you know that it'll light up an orange for them every single time, and they'll get all excited and think that somebody's talking to them, and then they'll just see it's you being a jerk. Definitely don't do that to Render and Notice. There's Mape. He says, I wanted you to just choose one that came to mind as most memorable. I haven't really been in the 2S world. I was in the 2S world like 7-8 years ago, and then that was it. I'm just recently revisiting 2S with these 75mm TinyWhoops, and so there's a bunch. There's a bunch of great. 2S is interesting because it's double the voltage of 1S, and so like an awful lot of motors that don't make enough, that aren't high enough kV for 1S, all of a sudden are awesome on 2S. So there's a bunch. If you just want one that sticks out, what's super interesting is like the Mobula 7 1S ELRS comes with Happy Model RS 0802 20,000 kV motors. A pretty much worthless motor on 1S, but on 2S, that motor is amazing on a lightweight 75mm analog TinyWhoop. So yeah, that motor like really just totally comes alive on 2S, which is really, really cool. The Betaflight 1102 and the RC and Power 1002, 18,000 kV motors, those blast on 2S, but that's more of like a TinyWhoop motor. You might not necessarily want to do those for like a CiottiFPV or like a toothpick, but yeah, 2S is pretty cool because like 1S has been the hype train for a couple of years, but the motor manufacturers haven't really played ball with those of us that are looking for rigs that actually fly really nice and have good power to weight ratios. And so when the input voltage doubles, it's like it doesn't matter. Damn near any motor, damn near any tiny motor becomes a fire-breathing lunatic. So yeah, it's pretty cool. Pretty cool stuff. We're lucky to have some really lightweight 2S batteries. Atreides with a $10 super chat. He says, I feel like I opened Pandora's box on the search of the best 1S AIO. Someone told me high amp ESCs on 1S boards make the motors go slower. Have you seen this result? No. That's super weird. I mean, I don't know of any 1S AIOs that have anything more than 5 amp fets on them, though. But yeah, I mean, if that were true, then racers wouldn't be running 60 amp ESCs, right? Like, if that were true, then it would be true for all ESCs. So that seems completely insane. That seems like something that somebody on Facebook or Reddit is talking about. And we joke all the time that, yeah, those are the two worst places to get decent info. So yeah, that sounds completely insane to me, but sometimes insane things are legit. I'm trying to think if I've ever run a 1S AIO with more than 5 amp fets. Don't the newbie drone AIOs have 12 amp fets on them? I think they might. I don't know. That sounds crazy to me. But sometimes crazy things are real. Thank you for the generous super chat, my friend. Ray's FPV says, what's up, CiottiFPV and Gangly Gangers? Ray's also says, Alley Cat says, hi. Hello, Ray's and Alley. Render says, you got to grab an old PC and make a NAS or a DAS. I don't know what those are, but you'll never see me with a PC. They make me want to jump off the goddamn building. The worst part of working in an office as a project manager for almost 20 years was the requirement of using a PC. And it was just for stupid shit. It was just for like surfing the internet and like using Excel or just running whatever in-house software the various different companies that I worked for used. But it was always just absolute and utter torture. Like it's just a nightmare. It's just a nightmare. Like, unless you really know what you're doing. Like, if you spend a lot of time and you really figure out what you're doing, yeah. But that's not me. Wandering FPV says, what's your take on guerrilla whooping, like FPV vegan stuff? It's amazing, and I wish I did more of it, but I'm very lazy. Afeel says, is there any props for 3D flying for 65mm? There are not. All of the TinyWhoop props are unidirectional. Also, there is a massive thrust and efficiency loss. So, like, when you spin a unidirectional prop backwards, you take a huge hit on power and efficiency. If you design a propeller that is omnidirectional, I guess, or bidirectional, there's a huge loss in efficiency and thrust. TinyWhoops don't have enough thrust to spare where you'd be able to like make a bidirectional prop that had half decent performance in either direction. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think 3D is really a thing for 65mm rigs. because again, we don't have enough power to spare. I would love to see somebody try it. It's apparently not that hard. I'm sure it would work, but like I think it would be so underpowered. If you got a bidirectional propeller, I think it would be underpowered all the time. If you just spun a unidirectional prop backwards, I think it would be so underpowered in the negative thrust direction that it wouldn't even be 3D flying. It would just be like you can maybe stall it upside down, but that would sort of be it. But we don't know till somebody tries. Mape said, oh no, we got that. Ray says, there it is. Did you notice how CiottiFPV render space his videos? Flash FPV says, I made a 40,000 kV motor with Air 65 with the 1210 biblades. But I can't seem to get the RPMs you were getting. It looked like you were getting 60,000. Any ideas? 60,000 is awful high. It's going to depend upon, well, so first and foremost, there are two drastically different measures of RPM. One of them is when you're in flight, and then another one is when you're on the bench. Also keep in mind that when I did some of the RPM testing, I was using a bench power supply. So no voltage sag whatsoever, a solid 4 volts, right? So don't compare to that. Only compare to the flight footage where the OSD pops up afterwards. And then the in-flight RPM is heavily dependent upon how fresh your batteries are, and then how much time you let it sit at full throttle. When I'm looking to get like a real good maximum RPM measurement, I'll like line it up all the way in one corner upstairs, and then I'll run it full throttle for like at least a half a second to let the TinyWhoop accelerate as much as possible. The faster the TinyWhoop is going, the faster the incoming air is coming in, and the more that will allow the motors to really spin all the way up. So if you're just sitting at the bench holding it, cranking the motors up to full, you're never going to get a lot of RPM, because they're having to take all of this static air and accelerate it down in. When you let go of it and it starts accelerating forward, that incoming air is going 10, 20, 30 miles an hour, and that's going to help it really unload and spin up to a super high RPM. So maybe you're not doing one of those things, and that would explain why you're getting a lower RPM. Wandering F talked about that. Uriel says Vibers, Plantago Ovata. Willie Summit says 2S is a blast, and I love my Analog Mobile 8. Also, I seen 3 robins in my yard today in Indiana. Males or females? Uriel says CiottiFPV and all, eat more vibes. Eat more vibes. Craig says NAS equals network attached storage, and agree Windows sucks. Network attached storage. That would be cool to have a hard drive on the Wi-Fi network here. That'd be neat. Matter of fact, I have one. I have a time capsule. I gotta set Time Machine back up. I haven't used that time capsule in forever. Game Cine says, what's that white truck you have at the bottom shelf behind you? White truck? What? White truck. White truck? White truck. Tell me more. White truck you have at the bottom shelf behind you. Render says, Render also saying what NAS is. Jake FPV says Superx HD X12 newbie drone most. Oh yeah, right, of course, the X12. Yeah, no, that's bullshit. The X12 AIO has 12 amp fets on it, and it produces every bit as much power. I've actually tested specifically the X12 versus the 2G4, so 12 amp versus 5 amp, and they produce the exact same RPM, the exact same everything. So yeah, I've specifically tested that, and that is absolutely incorrect. Higher amp fets on 1S don't magically give you less RPM or less power. Craig says TinyWhoop has X12 AIO back in stock. Is that a good AIO for your 2S 75mm build? It's a great AIO for a 2S 75mm analog build, but that's it. The X12 has a VTX on board, so that is an analog specific AIO. Absolutely no reason to run that with an external VTX. Trady says, right, it does sound wrong. They were saying the resistance in the higher amps made it talk slower to the motors. Yeah, no, I've very specifically tested that, and that is incorrect. There are AIOs that just suck. Like the HDLRC Spectre AIO claims that it's 1 to 2S, and on 1S it is a disaster. There's another AIO that's like that as well. On 1S it doesn't work all that well, but then on 2S it works totally fine. The Spectre runs great on 2S, but on 1S it just blows. And so, yeah. GameCine says you have a... Why do you keep spelling it W-I-G-H-T? Am I missing something? Is that... That's the second spelling error. I thought it was just a spelling error for white, the color white. If you're the only RC car I have, oh, my thighs are on fucking fire. The only RC car I have is this guy from TinyWhoop.com. This is the tiny K truck. This is I don't forget what scale this is, but this is a K truck, 600cc K truck that TinyWhoop very kindly sent me when they started selling them. This is actually what started all of the RC drift car insanity. TinyWhoop sent this to me, and Florence Azalea, Maggie's 14-year-old, started driving it around, and I started chasing it with a TinyWhoop, and I was like, oh my god, that's way too fun. And that's what made me look up local RC drift groups and find those guys and start chasing them. And so, yeah, that's the only ground-based RC car that I've got. I used to have a couple of Kyosho Mini Zs when I was in college, so we're going like 20 years ago now. But I think I sold them. I don't think I have them anymore. They might be in a box somewhere, though. Jake FPV says, what issues have you had with the HDLRC Spectre? I have one on a 45mm 1S, not 2S build, and it seems perfect. There are a couple of live streams with it. Basically, it would not reliably spin the motors on 1S. Regardless of how high I put the idle and what I did in the ESC settings. Sent it back to GetFPV. They sent me another one. It did the exact same thing. And then they refunded me, and they said, don't even bother sending it back. You're not the only one that's having all these issues. And then, like, months later, I was doing a 2S analog build, and I was like, let's try it. I got it sitting here. And it ran totally fine on 2S. I was like, oh, okay. That works. So yeah, it's great for 2S, but 2 in a row just would not run on 1S. If you want to take a look, like I said, there's live streams where you can watch for yourself it not work. FEL says, I tried it and you're right, upside down. I can only hover and it drains the battery. Yeah, it's going to be like the motors are going to be working as hard as they can. 661 says, did Rosser fix the OSD on the Wandering Whoop? I don't know yet, but I looked at the OSD and it was a nightmare. Did Rosser have this before me? That's wild. There was a bunch of stuff that was completely weird with the setup. And so, yeah, I'm going to pretty much wipe it out and start fresh because I couldn't get it into bind mode. The OSD was absolutely ridiculous. It's whatever. And so, yeah, I'm going to set it up the way that my whoops are set up. And maybe whoever gets it next will start praying to the church of Throttle Expo, because I'm going to put a bunch on here. So speaking of the Wandering Whoop, let's dive in, yo. WanderingWhoop.com explains that congrats to you, lucky pilot, temporary caretaker of the Wandering Whoop. Have a blast and share your footage in the upload link below. You're allowed to make one significant change to the aircraft, which is why there are so many extra parts included in the package. Also take one of the aces as a memento. Stickers will be coming in the mail. When you send this whoop to the next pilot, I'll be happy to cover shipping. Blah, 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 blah. Please try not to lose this aircraft. I want to do a lot of these traveling aircraft, but I hope this one can make it to all 8 pilots. Upload footage here. So yeah, our one big change is going to be the antenna. It's just got a regular whip antenna right now. I've got a bunch of these custom shortened ORT micro V's, which I would love to see on here. And so let's actually do that right now. I think I can maybe not have to take this thing all the way apart to get in there to the antenna, but I don't know. Let's see. Let me get the old nerd goggles. Wait, hold on. Let me grab one of these antennas first, and then I have the. Oh, you know what? Yeah, no, I'm gonna use one of these black ones actually. I'm gonna put one of the regular ones on. I've switched a bunch of my rigs over to the shortened ones, and then I've had a bunch of these longer ones. So I'm actually going to put a regular 50mm on here. Cool. I hope it's okay that I'm like putting my own mod onto it. There's a bunch of stuff in the that comes in the box, like a bunch of different motors and whatnot. But these motors are great, and so I want to leave these motors on here. And plus, like, you know, this antenna is amazing. The ORT Micro V is just such a good antenna. Super lightweight, pretty much indestructible, and it just really works well. And so, yeah, we're gonna stuff this in there. I think I'm actually gonna run it out the top here to keep it out of the propellers. That'll be kind of cool. All right, so let me really carefully get this threaded down in there, and come on now. Get in there, you. All right, so the UFL is where it needs to be. Let's just get it clicked in, and there it is. All right, cool. So that's good. The antenna is sticking straight up, which is kind of obnoxious, but as it gets smacked, it'll knock down a little bit. And what this will do is this will keep it out of the propellers. If you run the Micro V out like this normal hole, it has enough length. This is why I got the shortened ones. It has enough length to go in the in between the props and the ducts, which is super annoying. And so I'm using this slightly longer black one. The only ones that I have that are shortened are white, and this thing is all black, and so I'd rather keep it all blacked out. But yeah, that'll work awesome. And the higher up the antenna sits, the better the better it performs. So cool. All right, so that's my mod to the Wandering Whoop. Now we're just gonna get it flying properly. This is the ELRS antenna here. Let me just get this routed a little bit better. It's kind of silly the way that it's routed right now. All right, that's looking much better. Let's push this over a little bit here. All right, cool. The antenna is now kind of like holding down some of these wires for the LEDs, which is kind of slick. So, yeah. That's looking pretty good now. All right. We're also going to swap these propellers out for a set of pink ones because trans rights or I bites. Am I right? Am I right? I have some extras coming on that order, but we will use some of these brand new 1.2 by 0.9s. The motors themselves are the Moon Travelers 0702 32,000 kV, which are light blue. And so now we're going to put some pink props on. And all of our, in honor of all of our transgender brethren and brethren-nets. If that's a thing. I don't remember. Do these HQ 1.2 by 0.9s drop straight on, or do we have to drill them out? Let's see. Ooh! I'm going to put a, I might put a pin vise in here. With, I'll at least put a couple of drill bits in the box for folks. Ooh, yeah, when I send this thing out, I'm going to put all kinds of shit in here that's super, helpful. Very cool. All right, so we're going to take the clone popper here and get these propellers off. All right. What is this setup? Props out. Okay. I'm going to change it to props in. What do you think of that, world? Okay. If Rosser had this, I want to take a look at where the tune is at. That's interesting. Although this AIO does not have black box, and so yeah, I don't know about that. He wouldn't have been able to do like a proper tune on it, so he might have just done like a preset or something like that. We'll see. We'll have a gander. Okay, so these are going back in the box. These are the old school HQ YOLO props. I'm also going to put this whip antenna in the box as well. No. Actually, there's a bag. Yeah. Here it is. There's a bag of parts that comes with it. So I'll put everything in here. So there we go with that antenna, and then. Oh, there's also a couple of bags of propellers. And so we've got the 1219s, the 1208s. Here we go. Oh no, these are the 1.2 by. Oh, okay, hold on. I gotta look at these props with a loop. Let's see what these propellers actually are. These are, well, the green, so there are mismatched props on this. So this green one here is the old school 31 millimeter HQ ultralight, which is like 1.2 pitch. And then these gray ones are the new school 1.2 by 0.9s. So there were two 1.2 pitch props on here, and then there were two 0.9 pitch props on here. That is too funny. So I'm gonna see if I have a bag that has HQ 31 millimeter on it. Yeah, boy, that's that's super funny. God only knows who did that. God only knows who switched it to have mismatched propellers. That's a really funny thing because, like, you know, we do all this stuff and like we make sure everything is absolutely perfect on these rigs, and then the PID loop will like adjust for completely mismatched propellers, right? And it's just it's hysterical how. And I mean, it's worth it. It's worth it to be sensitive of that kind of stuff because it's gonna perform its best if everything is running correctly. But it just goes to show you that, like, yeah, these things will self-correct. The PID loop is a hell of a tool, and it'll correct a lot of stuff that is wrong with these. Yo, that is absolutely hysterical that it had totally mismatched propellers on it. All right, so we're going to go props in, and I'm going to fix that in Betaflight. Let's see. Yeah, these go on there. I'm actually going to drill them out a little bit. I'm having to push a little bit too hard on that. I'm just going to hit it with the 0.99 millimeter drill bit. Just a little tiny bit to free them up a little. Just so that we don't wreck these Moon Traveler motors, which are some of my favorites. And that is all it takes. Just a super quick little run up and down. Hey, I took pictures of the pin vices today, so within the next day or two, they will be up on the Etsy store. CiottiFPV.com has a million ways that you guys can support me. This is a completely crowd-funded thing that I've got going on here. So if you have a couple extra dollars each and every month, if you want to see me test more stuff, throw them my way over on the Patreon channel or buy something from my Etsy store or whatever. Lots of different ways that you can support the insanity that is being a full-time FPV donkey. All right, so they are ever so slightly drilled out. Yeah, that's much better. Much, 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 much better. So now we are going to get this thing all kinds of light blue and pinked. And we will take a picture of it at some point by the pink and light blue frames and the trans flags up on top of the thingy here. So there we go, man. That's looking way better already. Come on now. We got that micro V sticking all straight up, all silly like. Boy, is that bothering me. What can I do? What can I do about that? I can kind of route it. If I route the wire out through there, do I have enough room, I wonder? Kind of looks like there's enough room. Hold on. Let me try something. Let me try something here real quick. This could be hyper custom. Here we go. Let's see. Get out of there. Come on now. There we go. Okay. So what if I run the antenna out through there and then down through there? Through that part of the frame. Canopy, rather. Could that be the magical magic? I think it might be. Hold on. Just get that routed in there, and now let's see. I'll show you guys what I'm doing. I know that you can't see it, but just give me a minute, and I'll show you what I'm up to. Oh, yeah, that'll totally reach. Yeah. Oh, that's pretty cool. Well, so this is like an advertisement for the longer antenna right here. This is the 50 millimeter micro V. And if you're using this exact canopy and this exact AIO, you can do this and it will hold the antenna really, really nicely. Let me just get this UFL snapped down real quick. There we go. Oh, that is pretty slick right there. Okay. All right, look at this. Look what I did. So the 50 millimeter antenna is long enough to run like that. And now there's no way it's getting down in the props. And it's all nice and like tucked away. You know what I mean? And look, we still got some movement up here. That's pretty cool. See it? Hell yeah. All right. So I guess at this point we just need to get this thing all set up on Betaflight and bound, and we will fly it. These are my 0.9s. Are they? No, they're not. These are the old school ones. Okay. Betaflight coming up. So I need the other one, which is here. So let me pull the diff off of this first. Also, I want to take a look at what version of Betaflight this guy's on. So if you have two identical AIOs and you want to do a diff from one to the other, first and foremost, hook each one of them up, go into the CLI, and type status, status, and then take a look at where the hell is it? I guess it's not status. I mean, one of the things you want to look at is which gyro it has, right? So BMI 270, this is mine. So take a look at the gyro, and then I guess at that point you can just type diff. At the top of the diff, it's going to give you the. Is this the? This is just the. This is the target that's installed. Yeah, that's just the target. These two have different targets, which is kind of weird. What is this on? This is on 4.4. Hold on a second. Does this have the bind button on 4.4 and the other one doesn't? It does not. Okay. No, this one does not have it. Let me try something. Well, no, it's a different target. I was going to try to take the diff off of this one and drop it onto the other one. But yeah, no, we're not going to do that. I'm going to set the Wandering Whoop up from scratch, I think. Unplugging mine. It doesn't take very long. And plugging in the Wanderer. Yeah, it doesn't work, Craig. If you want, go to Monday's live stream and you can watch 15 minutes of all the different things that you can do to bind rigs, and none of them work. Sometimes when ELRS gets bound to one thing, it's hard to get it. It like holds onto that bind and it won't go into binding mode. It's kind of obnoxious. But just take my word for it. I do this for a living. But yeah, this is the big problem, is that there's no bind button here. It's super annoying, and I swear to God, I swear I've had rigs on 4.4 that have had the bind button. I could be wrong though. So yeah, that's just silly. Right. Yeah, it's weird, man. This is on a different. Wow, the PID loop is all the way down at 1.6 too. This thing is set up super weird. And yeah, the target is different. Crazy Bee F4 SX. Let's see what happens when we go to update firmware and we go to auto detect. Oh, see, now that's weird. The auto detect is picking up Crazy Bee F4 SX1280. But then when I hook mine up, the auto detect is picking that more generic target. Well, hold on. I think I need to quit and restart Betaflight. Let's see. There we go. All right, so update firmware and then look, right? Auto detect. What? That's weird. Why wanted auto detect. Wow, okay. I haven't had that happen in a while. Interesting. It's on this generic STM32F411 target, which is kind of odd, but I mean, flies fine. Weird. Okay, whatever. I'll do a scratch setup. Well, no, actually, let me look at the interesting. Brandon's Baked Bean says auto detect only works if the target name in the loaded configurator is in the repo. Ah, that generic target is not. I did not know that. Very cool. Yeah, let's connect to this, and I'm curious where the what the hell is this about? The tune is a mess. Oh my god, this thing must have flown. Oh. Well, never mind. I didn't see the... No, the tune is still a mess. What is this? This is super weird. Why is the master multiplier cranked up so high, but then the damping and tracking and stickers... What a weird tune. When I look at the numbers, though, this would not have flown well at all with these gains so low. Look how much feed forward there is. Wow, what a weird tune on this. Super strange. Default-ish Betaflight rates. Yeah, I don't think anybody was flying this. Oh, and then look at this. What the hell? The dynamic notch is turned off because the PID loop. Yeah, this thing is a hot mess. I wish that I could I wish that I could get bound to it. To see how it would fly like this. I mean, I guess that I could. Oh man, I would love to see. I would love to fly it like this, and then put a proper setup on it, and then you guys could see kind of before and after. I guess I can. I can just hold on. I could just do a quick screenshot of this. So, yeah, let's just take a screenshot of that, and then we'll come in here and take a screenshot of this, and then I'll put it onto 4.5, which doesn't change really anything about the way that it's going to fly, and then we'll put this same very strange tune on it, and then I'll put my normal kind of setup on it, and it should be quite a bit better. All right, cool. So, yeah, this PID loop frequency being at 1.6 is super weird. And then the filtering is very odd. I guess it's pretty much just like stock filtering. What a strange tune on here. Okay, we're gonna use Brandon's Baked Beans magical BMI 270 tune as we always do, because this. Well, let's see. Actually, let's see if it is a BMI 270 because it's 3.2. But to figure that out for sure, you type status into the CLI, and then it'll tell you the gyro right here. Very interesting. All right, so we're gonna update this thing. Auto detect 4.5.1. And I'm just gonna redo everything. Yeah, we're just gonna do this from scratch. It'll be fine. Flash firmware. Yeah, we'll create a backup. What the hell? Or not. There it goes. Throw it on the desktop. Save it. All right, cool. So there is a backup. God forbid we need it. Hopefully. Yep, there is a backup. All right. So let's get this thing going. All right, let's get transmitter ready, and put my OSD on it so that it's actually flyable. We'll put crash recovery on it too. Yeah. We'll do all the things. Brandon Bean says when you need to bind to ELRS, flash it with the ELRS web flasher. Yeah, I was trying to not. I'm hoping I don't have to do that. You know what? I think I am gonna have to do that. God damn it. The other nice thing though about putting this onto 4.5 is that I think I'll have that field for binding phrase. We're gonna see in a minute. Let's accelerate the calibrometer real quick here. Get it as flat as I can on the desk. All right, there we go with that. Ports should not need to be touched. Configuration 3.2, that's what we want. Craft name, Wanderer. Arming angle 180, not 1800. Air mode permanently on, great. LED strip. I don't think it uses that, but I mean, it's whatever. RX lost, RX set. Turn these switches on so that your ESC beepers will work. And that's all we need to do in here. Yeah, Brandon Beans' chat talking about how it the binding phrase might be stuck in there. I'm hoping that it's not. Also, on the setup tab, you want to just check it. You want to go nose down. Nope. So the board is not oriented properly. So when I go nose down, it's going right side down. So I want to rotate this 90 degrees. So we're going to go into configuration. And then for the yaw degrees, we're going to... I think it's actually 270 that it wants. Let's take a look. Save and reboot. Reconnect. And now we're going to go nose down, nose up, roll left, roll right, yaw left, yaw right. So now we're correct. Usually you don't have to do that, but sometimes these manufacturers put the gyros in a weird orientation. Power and battery, this is all jacked up. We're going to go to 3.1 and 3.3. Isn't that what I usually set it at, I think? Capacity 300. Save that. Failsafe, we're going to go to 3 seconds because it's a TinyWhoop. What's the worst that's going to happen? It's going to get tangled up in somebody's hair. Reconnect. PID tuning. We're going to come back to that. Receiver, binding phrase. Come on, baby. Come on. Be cool. And look, now we also have the bind receiver button down here. But we shouldn't even need it. We're going to save and reboot. And I'm going to power on the transmitter. And we're going to see if this damn thing will bind. Come on, you little bastard. Oh, no. Let's try the refresh trick. And then save. Nope. Oh, that's super annoying. Oh, wait a second. Isn't this supposed to be... Hold on. It's not... It's supposed to be serial. Hold on. Let me try that. I think I remember it being serial. I can plug mine in and take a look. Oh, but that's right. Then I can't use the effing... thing in the place. But see, now, wait. It is serial. Hold on. Let me just plug. It's just so much easier to plug mine in and take a look at the setup. My God, why do these targets have the wrong... Never mind. I cannot believe that these targets have the wrong... shit set in there. Oh, come on now. Don't be a dick, Betaflight. Screw you. Alright, come on. There we go. Alright, connect. Ports. Yep, it is serial. So it's UART 1. What? Why is this set to VTX display port? What? Why is it... What? Display port? Why is that like that? That's super weird, isn't it? What? 661 says, this is the barrier to entry you talk about. Yeah, it like, oh boy, it is just outrageous. All right, so UART1 is now on serial RX. And so let's see here. Hey, now I do have the... That's weird. Why didn't I have the bind receiver button a minute ago? All right, let's see if this will bind. Although... Wait. Oh, I really want to... I couldn't get the Lua script to work right the other night either, though. Well, I guess I'll try it again. Okay, Nomad, bind. Yeah, see, script syntax error, bad argument. Why? Why? Why are you like this? Oh, I hate Lua scripts so hard. Yeah, no, the Lua scripts don't work. Okay, so I need to use the ELRS website Bing Bong to get a binding phrase in here. This is absolutely insane. Okay. ELRS web flasher. And so we want receiver, and then I guess we might as well put it on 353. Hardware vendor, happy model. There it is. Radio frequency 2.4, hardware target. It would be this one, happy model AIO. Yep, happy model AIO. And next, bind phrase. There we go. FCC region, whatever. We don't need any of that. Flashing method. Let's do Betaflight pass-through. Hopefully that works. Advanced settings. Nope, we're good. All right, let's see if that will work. Connect. Come on. Do it. Do it. Do it. Yeah. Yeah. Come on. You can do this, Express LRS. Be cool. Be cool, ELRS. Be cool. I've missed a ton of chat comments. I apologize, friends. Brent Anderson says, I've been making bends and antennas and then E6000 with a piece of tape to hold it till set. That's a really cool idea. God, is that a cool idea. Oh, yeah! We can do things. Look at that. And we updated it. Updated Betaflight, updated ELRS. So now, since my transmitter's turned on, it should be bound. Although Betaflight's being a jerk again. Let's get it out of there. Open this back up. Come on now. Come on now! Ugh. Alright, let me power cycle the whoop. Okay. There we go. Oh, it's glorious! Would you just look at it? Alright, so we got to get AETR changed to TAER. We're going to put a little bit of deadband in here. We'll do 3 points. 3 points. Stick low threshold down to 1,000. Most transmitters should be fine with that. Stick high threshold up to 2,000. Save it. And now put our sticks bottom left. Make sure all three of these numbers that are changing right now are less than 1,000. Both sticks top right. Make sure all of these numbers that are changing right now are above 2,000. And we're golden. That's how you get the most possible throttle resolution. Let's save all that. And let's go to the modes tab. And I'm just going to do these manually. And so we're going to put arm here. We're going to put horizon on this switch. Horizon in the all the way up position. We're going to do beeper on this switch here. Aux 3 all the way down. we're going to go... we're not going to do OSD disable. I'm going to do the secret thing for that. Flip over after crash. We're going to put on this switch in the middle position. It's already there. We're going to do a little bit of launch control on this switch in the middle just for funsies. And let's save that. Although, there's a... I think that they've got the... I think that there's LEDs hooked up to the beeper. If I'm not mistaken on here. Where are these LEDs connected to? Yeah, they're connected to the buzzer pad. And so that... But I don't want to... I don't want to turn the beeper on in midair because it's going to beep the ESCs as well. That's cool. When I turn the beeper on. That's just one LED, though. What are the other LEDs doing? Let me throw a battery on here and see what happens. So it's now powered up. Yeah, now I can't have the beeper on when I fly it. The other LEDs might be broken, I guess. I don't know why there would only be the one. Unless... Does it have addressable LEDs? I don't think so. I don't think there's a... These are not an addressable LED. I think the other LEDs are just burned out. There should be 4 LEDs in all 4 corners. I think the wires have just broken or something. Interesting. Okay. I mean, it's very obviously hooked up to the beeper pad, and I just turned the beeper on, and only that one blinks. I've never really done that before. I've never hooked LEDs up to a beeper pad, although that's kind of a really cool idea. To hook LEDs up to a beeper pad, because then when you turn the beeper on to find the damn thing, it'll sit there and flash. Huh. What else is happening here? Let's save this. Adjustments. Here's where I'm going to set up the magical mystery OSD thing. And that's it. You just saw me do it. Enable it with a switch. aux2. Give a full range. OSD profile selection, and then aux2 here, save it. So when you put your aux2 switch into this range, it's going to make your OSD profile go from profile 1 to 2 to 3. And then in your OSD, you're going to use these 3 different profiles. Here's the 3 different profiles. So with a switch in position 1, you'll get 1 setup of OSD. In switch position 2, you'll get the 2nd setup. 3, you get the 3rd setup. What I do is I put all of the OSD elements on switch positions 1 and 2, and then on switch position 3, the 3rd column, I only have warnings. So I can put this aux2 switch all the way towards me. That triggers element 3, which only has the warnings. So it's a clean OSD until the low battery warning. When I move this switch into the middle or up for horizon mode, I have my full OSD. And so that's how you get clean OSD, but you still get a low battery warning. In the modes tab, there is a mode that will wipe out the OSD, but you don't get that warning. So you end up running your batteries down to Chinatown, and you destroy batteries that way. I've got a handy little chunk of CLI text here with my OSD. So I can just go in here and dump that in. And then while I'm at it, I have a little chunk of text for crash recovery that I'll grab and put in there. And then I will even grab Brandon's Baked Beans magical BMI 270 one line of set gyro hardware low pass filter option 2 in here as well. And that's everything that I need to do in the CLI. So that's now all good to go. Connect here. We're going to go into the filters, and we're going to set the rest of Brandon's magical... actually, no, it starts in presets. And so the first thing we do is the clean 4.5 filter settings for clean with RPM filtering. We're also going to check to make sure this has Blue Jay. But for right now, we're just going to pick that 4.5 filter settings for clean build with RPM filtering. Yep. Save and reboot. Well, while we're here, let's go to ESC Configurator. We're going to have to put a battery on this thing real quick. Done. I can hear that it's playing the Blue Jay song, but let's take a look at what version of Blue Jay it's on. I need to turn my transmitter off for that. All right. And come on. There we go. Blue Jay. Hold on. Reconnect. Read settings. Wow, come on now. Why is the fourth ESC not coming to life? What's happening here? Hold on. Let's disconnect everything. Make sure Betaflight is disconnected too. Alright, I'm going to disconnect the Whoop. We're going to plug it back in. I'm going to give it voltage from a fully charged battery this time. That was just a storage charged battery. Should have been fine, but... read settings. There we go. Okay, so this is on Blue Jay 0.19, which sucks. We're going to get it onto the magical 0.16. So flash all ESCs, flash local firmware, and I'm looking for, let me just double check, OH5. And so we're going to come in here, and we're going to go to, I actually made a folder somewhere with all of these on it. It's in Quartz and then ESC firmware, and I'm looking for OH5 48.16. There we go. OH5 48K version 0.16. That is now flashing. We'd probably be fine putting it to 0.21, but 0.19 sucks. 0.18, 0.19, 0.17, they suck. It's not even telling me what the... it just says 0.19. It doesn't even tell me what... Was it at 96? Was it at 48? Was it at 24? The setup was really weird on this thing. Willie Summit says, lay the antenna between motors 1 and 2 or 3 and 4. Bread tie to the frame. No chance of props or being yanked out. That's an interesting idea. I wouldn't want to add weight of those bread ties, but I mean, that would totally work. Denzel the Terrible says they should call it the Your Mom Whoop because it really gets around. Great. More Shot says, wait, is it serial or SPI? We talked about that. Craig says you can type bind in the CLI. Unfortunately not. Euro says back to factory settings. Yep. More Upshot says if Rosser had it last, make sure he actually flew it. There were things that screamed to me it hasn't been flown. Wow, there are all kinds of weird things going on. The minimum startup power is cranked all the way up here, but then the maximum startup power is down lower than the minimum. This is... What the hell is this about? I can't move it up? There is a lot of really weird stuff on this thing. Why can't I move that up? What is... Oh, that's weird. What was that about? Yo, this thing is super strange. All right, so we're going to move this up to like 1100 and 1200. That's fine. Motor timing is at medium high. No, Rosser did not have this. He would have set it to medium. RPM power protection is up at 11? That's weird. Usually it's at 9, isn't it? Let's turn these guys up a little bit for a little bit more volume out of the beeper. Beacon delay 2 minutes. Brake on stop and right settings. This thing was yeah, there is some really weird stuff going on in this thing. But it's now pretty much good to go. The only other preset is going to be Express ELRS 250. I do this also because it adds some stick smoothing in. So we're going to go to HD Freestyle, pick, and this is going to add a really nice amount of stick smoothing. Not too much, not too little, and it's going to optimize it for ELRS 250. So it's going to smooth out the stair stepping in the in that high of a baud rate. PID tuning. Let's do this. To get started, I'm going to put this weird-ass tune that was on it. And then we're going to fly a half a battery like that. And then we're going to put a proper tune on it. And maybe you'll be able to see a difference. Maybe not. But, yeah, let's recreate this ultra strange tune that was on here. 0.6, 0.6. Feed forward doesn't really matter all that much, but whatever. The D-Max was turned all the way off, which I really don't like, but whatever. The drift wobble was at 0.95. That doesn't matter. Let's just leave it at 1. The pitch damping was turned down, which is super strange because there's more weight on the pitch axis. This is so confusing. And then the master multiplier was jacked all the way up to 1.55. Yeah, odd, but we'll give it a shot. iTerm relax, we're going to turn this down to 10 because it's not a race rig. Dynamic damping, let's do 30 and 30. Motor output limit 100%. Dynamic idle we're not going to use because it's only on 1S. Let's save this. I'm going to put my rates on here. Actual rates, fantastic. 40, 40, 700, 700. Expo 0.7, 0.7. Throttle Expo. These motors don't need a lot. We're just going to do that, and then I'm going to take a guess at the hover point being 0.35. Why is there no rates preview? Yeah, there it is. Filter settings. I took that screenshot. Let's see this ultimate strangeness. Gyro low pass 1 was on. Oh, I don't even know if this is going to fly. No. I'm not going to do these weird filter settings. I'm going to use Brandon's magical baked beans BMI 270. So we're going to turn off the gyro low pass because we've already made the change in the CLI. So these old filter settings might not have even worked at all. We're going to change this to PT2. We're going to turn the gyro slider off here. And then we're going to do 135 for the cutoff. So gyro low pass 2, 135, PT2, great. 1 harmonic on the gyro RPM filter. And then the dynamic notch we can leave the same, although I'm going to crank the max frequency up to 800 to make sure it covers it. D-term slider, we're going to... D-term filter, we're going to use the slider, and I can usually pretty safely run it at 1.2. So we'll do that and then save it. All right. So that's looking good. These cutoffs are awful low, aren't they? Hold on, let's go to auto. No, that looks about right. Okay, that's fine. Modes we did, adjustments we did, motors. Let's get these motors spinning the right direction. They should be, but maybe not. Motor direction. I understand the risks. Wizard, start and spin. Motor 1 is... Oh no, I do have to change the motor direction. Motor 1 is wrong. Motor 2 is wrong. Motor 3 is wrong. Motor 4 is wrong. So we need to reverse all 4 of them. Let's see if this combination of firmware and anything... Nope, they're all going the wrong direction. So, once again, the motor direction thing does not work. We're going to connect here. And we're going to go from reverse to normal, normal to reversed. Normal to reversed, reversed to normal, right settings. And now the motors are going to spin in the right direction. Connect. Let's just double check it though. We can double check it in here. Motor 1 is correct. Motor 2 is correct. Motor 3 is correct. Motor 4 is correct. Huzzah. Motor idle is at 5.5. That's great. The motor pole is incorrect. Let's fix that. There we go. All right. I think we're pretty much good. OSD, I dumped that all in. It should be, yep, it's all good to go here. Okay. Yeah. Everything's looking right. What? Oh. Right. Ports tab. MSP plus DisplayPort. I guess this is on that weird open VTX shit. Let's see. Connect. Video transmitter. There we go. Fat Shark 4. Hell no. Race 8. 25 million watts. On until first arm. Oh, device not ready though. Shit sticks. I might have to get a VTX table for this. Oh boy. All right, well. Hold on. Let's power cycle it real quick. All right, so plug back in, you rat. There we go. All right, let's see. Connect. Video transmitter. Hey! Device is ready. Race 8, 25, on until first arm, low power disarm. Happy days are here again. Cool. LED strip we're not using. Sensors, nope. Black box doesn't have it. I think we're good to go. Let's test out this weird oddball PID tune. This should be a flying rig. Famous last words. Let's hook up a little 260 and see what's what. VRX working? It is indeed. Right. Let's see if I missed anything. Why is the buzzer constantly on? Oh, there it is. Now it's bound. Hey! It's constantly flashing the buzzer, though. No, it's not. Interesting. Yeah, so the other LEDs must be blown up. Because it's only flashing that one. But that's interesting that it's flashing that one. I don't know why it's doing that. Super strange. That it's flashing that LED off the buzzer pad. I never used the buzzer pad, so I don't know. Cool. We're good. Does it have video? We do have video. Look at that. Let's fly this oddball tune and see what's what. Watch, the tune's going to be like absolutely the greatest tune on planet Earth. Oh, I don't have any OSD though. What's that about? Where's the OSD at? Hold on. Why don't I have OSD? Did I forget to turn that on in the configurator tab? Why else would I not have OSD? That's super strange. Let's see. Nope, it's on in here. OSD, the elements are correct. 1 and 2. And then 3 for warnings. Yeah, so that's right. What? aux2 switch is working. What's going on, little buddy? Where's your OSD at? Oh, I know what it is. It's probably set to HD. Yep. Get it over to NTSC, and now we will magically have OSD. After we power cycle it. Disconnect. Unplug. Replug. It might be PAL. I doubt it, but let's just take a look. Nope, now we're good. NTSC is right. Hey. All right. Let's fly this unusual tune. Here we go. This is on a little Lava 260 mAh battery that is already down to 4.1 volts. Oh boy, yeah, this tune's a mess. So it's bobbling on. Oh wow, I haven't flown a TinyWhoop on a. Oh, I was gonna say that's a bit much. It was in horizon mode. I was gonna say, man, I haven't flown a TinyWhoop on a tune this bad in a long time. Yeah, so you see that massive hit of prop wash? We're gonna get rid of that in a minute. Whoa! Okay. Wish I'd planned that. These props have such a specific. I don't know if I've ever run these props on a 32,000 kV motor. I usually run these on like much higher kV motors. Hey. I mean, the tune's not that bad. I mean, that prop wash was pretty obvious, right? Yeah, that's pretty ugly, but that's super easy. That's just because the sliders are turned down so low. Thing flies great. I mean, you know, it's an 18-gram rig with like I don't know if they're my favorite motors, but I probably have. Oh, I almost got it into that Weebleed gate. I have more batteries through these Moon Traveler motors than any other motor, and so they're, you know, like if I'm going to be used to any motor, I'm going to be used to this one. Woo! Came close to that crash symbol. Ah. Hey. I assume this is the FXT camera because of how bright it is. Ah, man, I saw the side of the I saw the side of that gate coming, and I just had this moment of like, it's too late. I'm not even gonna try to make a correction. Like it's gonna hit it. Oh, I ran this battery down too low. Oh, sorry, battery. 2 minutes and 25 out of a battery that was like a little bit discharged already. Let's get the tune fixed. Super simple. If your TinyWhoop is flying like that, it's very, very, very easy to fix it. You don't need black box. You don't need any confusing mumbo jumbo nonsense. First and foremost, TinyWhoops. Hold on, let me actually unplug it for this. TinyWhoops are very very evenly balanced in terms of weight. When you look at it like this, and you look at how the weight is spread front to back, yeah, okay, you've got a little lightweight camera that's a little bit front of the center line, but like the canopy is perfectly in the center. You rotate it like this, same kind of deal. The weight is like right in the middle here. And so TinyWhoops are not very nose heavy. They're not tail heavy until you put a battery on them. When you put a battery on them, and we'll do that, we'll be super drastic with a giant Weebleed 465. When you put a battery on here, now you're adding a whole bunch of weight to the pitch axis only, right? You hold it sideways like this. Look at all this weight that's on the pitch axis, but it's not on the roll axis. So on the roll axis, all of the weight is centralized. And so that's going to allow it to roll a lot more freely. On the pitch axis, all this battery weight is spread far towards the rear and far towards the front. Obviously, we're not going to run this battery, but even a little 260 mAh battery, just look at the battery, right? Look at how the battery is spreading its weight on the pitch axis versus on the roll axis, right? And so because you have more weight on the pitch axis, you want to have more PID authority on the pitch axis, which is one of the most confusing things about this tune. The tune that this thing had on it, it has less PID authority on the pitch axis. So it's going to be extra lazy on the pitch axis because the PIDs are turned down and because it's got more weight on the pitch axis. So we're going to fix that, among other things. We're going to grab another 260 mAh battery, but we're going to plug into Betaflight. We could technically fix this in the OSD, but we're not going to. So let's hook this thing up here and hop into Betaflight. And so, in order to fix that problem with the pitch axis, it's these two sliders right here. Pitch damping and pitch tracking. If these sliders are at 1.0, it's not doing anything. They're not. They're at 0.9, so it's taking the PIDs and it's bringing the pitch PIDs down to 90% of the roll PIDs on the D gain, and then this one 95% on the PI and feed forward. And we just don't want that. That just makes no sense for the way that a TinyWhoop has its weight distributed. I don't find that you have to really go bananas on these. I find that putting these both up to 1.1 is damn near perfect. If the pitch axis still feels more lazy than the roll axis, then bring it from 1.1 up to 1.2. I pretty much always put these at 1.1, and it just makes it makes the rig feel balanced, front back versus left right. And that's what we're going for. That's what I want. I want it to kind of feel the same all around. The dynamic damping Dmax was zeroed out. This is gonna, you know what? I'm just going to add the dynamic damping back in, and we're gonna fly it and see if a bunch of that. I've been meaning to do this for a long ass time. We're gonna see if the dynamic damping, turning that back on, is enough to get rid of that prop wash that we just had. Let's just check this super quick. I am gonna end up moving the top two sliders up because they are way too low. And I'm going to move that master multiplier down because it's just kind of weird that that's cranked all the way up. But let's see if the dynamic damping is enough to get this thing not prop washing as hard as it just was. Why do I not have battery voltage? Oh, there it goes. That was weird. All right, so let's see. Let's see if the prop wash is any better. Not really. It's not any worse, though. It's maybe a little bit better. Not that much better. That was kind of a hard hit. It's still there. It is... I'm pretty sure it is a little bit better, though. Alright. Now we're going to fix it. Now we're going to fix the prop wash all the way. And just kind of make this tune a little bit... It's actually going to be a much simpler tune, is what we're going to do. So yeah, the dynamic damping with the PIDs as low as they are, it's not multiplying enough. Well, let's see. Again, I've been meaning to show you guys what dynamic damping does. These PID gains are so low that a value of 1.1 here on the dynamic damping, it's not enough. Let's go all the way up to like, fuck it, let's max it. These PID gains are so low that I'm going to have to really bring the dynamic damping way the hell up for it to have enough of an effect. So let's see. Let's see if that eats the prop wash. If you wanted a rig that eats prop wash, but then cruises around with very, very, very low PID gains for like maximum authority, maximum efficiency rather, this would be what you would do. You would crank the dynamic damping up like crazy, and then in the scenario that it's in prop wash, it'll drastically... Okay, so now the dynamic damping is actually up too high. We're getting like weird intermittent flutters, but what's interesting is it's eating most of the prop wash. The prop wash is almost gone. Not quite. There's still a little bit. See how much better it is? Yeah, see, it's still there. You could really see it on that one. But here's what's happening. That's actually super interesting. Like I said, I've been meaning to crank the dynamic damping all the way up. So what dynamic damping does is that it raises the D gain when it comes off set point. Set point is where your sticks are. You don't when you do a prop wash turn like that, you don't go to try to create that prop wash. Your sticks are centered and you just hammer the throttle. And so when a rig starts to prop wash, it is coming off set point. The rig comes off set point more often than that, though, like when you move the sticks. When you move the sticks, it's actually coming off of set point. And so when you crank the dynamic damping way up like that, when you move the sticks, it increases the D gain like crazy. And so what I had just now is that every time I moved the sticks, it would flutter for a split second. Because I would move the stick, it has now come off set point, it's going to mega boost that D gain, it's going to give it too much D gain, the rig is going to rotate into where the sticks are, that's going to get it back on set point, and so now it's going to stop oscillating like that, and then it's going to get into prop wash. It's going to come off set point in prop wash. It's going to increase the shit out of the D gain again, and that's going to eat the prop wash. The problem is there's that delay. It has to come off set point, and then it has to crank the D gains up, and then it has to fix it. So what I hope you guys could see, I can see it in the goggles. God knows if it comes through the YouTube and 720 and all that shit. On the really weak tune with no dynamic D gain, with no D max, it was just prop washing all the time, but it wasn't oscillating when I would push on the sticks because there was no dynamic damping. Once I set it to 1.1, it helped the prop wash a little bit, but it wasn't getting overreactive when I was pushing the sticks around. When I moved it all the way up to 2.0, now it's eating much more of the prop wash, but not all of the prop wash, but it's oscillating when I move the sticks. And so that is too much D-max. Too much D-max is going to boost it when you move the sticks, not just when it's in prop wash. The dynamic damping slider being at 1.1, it works really well. It doesn't trigger it when you move the sticks around, but it does trigger it when you get it into prop wash. But this tune is still not done because Did you guys see when we had that initial big hit of prop wash? That's because the dynamic damping has to boost the D gain. We have a situation on this rig right now where those two sliders are basically it doesn't have enough static D gain. And so the D gain is too low. So you throw it around and you stab the throttle. The D gain is too low to catch that first hit of prop wash, but then it's going to boost the D gain like crazy and then it evens out. Watch this. We are now going to just push all of the D gain up all of the time. And it's going to kill that initial hit of prop wash. We're also going to leave the dynamic damping on. And so that's going to just give us a little bit of extra in case it really sits down into like a slow prop wash. All right. And so PID tuning, look at these values, right? So this tune is super awkward because the master multiplier is jacked way up, but then these damping and tracking sliders are cranked way down. But what I want you to look at are these values, right? P gains down in the 40s, that's very low. D gains down in the 30s and 40s, that's very, very low. This is a very loose, very weak kind of tune here. And so first thing I'm going to do is get this master multiplier out. The master multiplier increases the I gain. It increases everything. And what I don't like about it is that it increases the hell out of the I gain. So this tune previously had a whole... Well, it doesn't have that much I gain. But it increases the I gain. And usually we don't need extra I gain. What we need extra of is damping and tracking, which are D gains for damping, P and I gains for tracking. And so the standard tune that I run on most of these things has an offset between the damping slider and the tracking slider of 0.3. So if the damping slider is at 1.3, the tracking slider is at 1. And now look at where these values are. These are the values, these are pretty much the same values that we had a second ago. I think they're actually a little bit more aggressive. I almost never run the PIDs down this low. My first whack at a PID tune is all the way up here. And now look at these values. Look at how much more P gain and how much more D gain that we've got already. And so now... I need to pull this dynamic damping way the hell down. We're going to put this dynamic damping at 1.1. This probably looks very familiar to you guys. This is a very similar tune that I have on a lot of rigs that works really, really, really well. I can probably keep pushing this this regular damping and tracking slider up, but just for the sake of argument, I'm going to leave it here. And we're going to fly the other half of this battery. And then I'll bet you that the prop wash is almost gone by now. But we can go even further. It's a better bet to kind of creep these up rather than just go completely bananas with them. Whoa, okay. So we've got... That was a weird little oscillation that I had there. This battery is a little dead. Let's get a fresh battery on here. So I had an interesting little oscillation there, which a fresh battery will really shine some light on. So let's do that. I'm gonna put a fresh 260 on here. All right, let's see what's going on. So it oscillated in a way that tells me the PIDs might actually be too high already. And the first thing to check is for vibrations when that happens. And so we're going to flip this thing into turtle mode. Why does this battery say 2.4? 2.14. It thinks it's a... oh, the max volt... Let's fix this. The max volt... Well, Nah, we'll be all right. Let's get this flight in, then we'll plug it back. It thinks it's a 2S battery. Sorry I've been ignoring chat, guys. There's a bunch to get done here, and I want to fly this thing a bunch. What was I just going to do? Oh, yeah, I want to check for that. Check to see if the tune is overactive. Wait, no, sorry. Turtle mode. Flip it into turtle mode, arm it, hold it in your hand so that you can feel the vibrations. Motor 1, nice and clean. Motor 2, clean. Motor 3, clean. Motor 4, clean. Okay, so the motor shafts are not bent up, the propellers are not wrecked. Let's see what's up here. See, there it is. Interesting. But other than the oscillation, the prop wash is gone. Huh. So let me take a look at the filters, see if I might have missed something, and then we will dive in. I might have just pushed the tune a little bit too far. Let's take a look. So, hook this thing back up to USB. Right, connect. And so let's go into PID tuning and then filters and just take a super quick look. 1 gyro RPM filter, PT2, 135, 1 notch, Q. Let's try something here. Let's put less filtering into the D term and see if that helps it or hurts it. A lot of times with these TinyWhoops, you have a situation where there's too much filtering. And it's super easy to just do what I just did, throw the battery back into it, and fly it again. And see if it helps or hurts. Let's see. It's not better. It's not really worse, though. So now let's go the other direction. Welcome to tuning without black box, my friends. You go one way, and then you go the other way. Luckily, with TinyWhoops, you do it in your basement. And it doesn't take very long. So we went one way. Didn't make much of a difference. Let's pull this D term down to 1.0. We'll save and see if that helps. It probably won't. There is just a point where you can't push the PIDs any further on a given rig. Could be any number of things causing that. Let's see. Oh, it's way worse. So there we go. So, great. Thank you, Wandering Whoop. That is a beautiful lesson in extra filtering not always being the answer. When it was at 1.2, it was okay. When I moved it up to 1.4, it was kind of the same. When I moved it down to 1.0, it was bad. Significantly worse. I'm going to go all the way up to 1.8 now. I bet you I've just tuned so many of these things that 1.2 is kind of always about right. But this is tuning without black box. We're going to go all the way up to 1.8 here. And let's see. On one hand, hopefully it gets worse, because then we'll have narrowed it down, but I have a feeling it's going to be about the same. Let's see. Look at the Wandering Whoop teaching people how to tune. Hell yeah. Oh my god, it's way better. Wow. Oh, well. Prop wash is still there. But the oscillation is completely gone. And we're going to talk about why in a second, if Brandon is not already schooling you guys on why that is in the chat. Wow. Oscillation is completely gone. The battery is starting to get a little bit discharged, so let's put a fresh battery on just to make sure. When you're dealing with oscillations like that, so what is that? What is an oscillation? It's when the quad overcorrects and then overcorrects and then overcorrects and overcorrects. This can happen for a lot of different reasons. If there's too much P gain, oh boy, I can't dive into why it's a big discussion. With filtering, it happens because there's too much. Give me a second. I gotta try to figure out like the easiest way to describe this. When it comes to filtering, sometimes it has to do with delay. The more filtering you add, the more delay. If the electrical system is clean, you don't necessarily need more filtering. If the build is clean, you don't necessarily need more filtering. If you add more filtering than it needs, especially on a tiny little lightweight rig, it will put enough delay into the PID gain, into the PIDs, that there's this overcorrection that happens, and then it fixes it, and it overcorrects, and then it fixes it, and it overcorrects because of the delay. That situation can also be caused by the PID gains being too high, specifically the P gain being too high, and there not being enough D gain to check it. P gain is like the springs on a car. D gain is like the dampers or the shocks on a car. If you've ever driven a car with blown out shocks, it bounces down the highway. And it bounces and bounces and bounces because there's no shock there to slow it down. And so this overcorrection, this oscillation, can be caused by the P gain being too high. And the P gain will push too early and too hard, and it'll overcorrect, and then it'll overcorrect in the other direction, and it'll overcorrect in the other direction. That there is a relationship between the PIDs and the filters, though. And so if there's too much filtering and there's too much delay, that factors into the PIDs. And you can have that same situation. And that's exactly what we just saw here. When we moved the D term filtering down to 1.0, there was too much delay. And it was bouncing back the other direction, and then that delay was causing it to go back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. I am going to now push that D term slider up on a lot of my other rigs because I've kind of settled at 1.2 or 1.4 because like that's pretty aggressive. But here's the thing with TinyWhoops, everything happens at really high RPMs. At really high RPMs, you don't need a lot of filtering. The high RPMs, the high frequencies are filtered hard no matter what. And so this is really, really interesting. I'm not going to push it beyond 1.8. I am going to put a fresh battery on, though, because that could have... Let's just see. I think it's going to be fine, but fresh battery, more voltage, quicker response time. Oscillations happen in part because of, like, response time that's kind of too good. Let's just check it. Nope, it's fine. We still have that prop wash, but we don't have oscillations now, and so we have some headroom. And it's starting to feel good. Now that it's got more PID gain in it, specifically more P and D gain, it's starting to feel more sort of locked in the air. When the I don't know why it's doing that 0 volts thing. When you've got the PID gains to a point where like they're close to their limit, the the quad is going to start to feel like it's like a kitten with its nails in the carpet, where it's like kind of gripping the air. It's because it's almost like a little bit nervous in the air. The response time is really cranked up, and it's making like smaller corrections for you, and it really gives that like locked in kind of feeling, and it's starting to feel like that already. But we still have a little bit of prop wash, and so the tune is still not there yet, and so we're gonna stay to that 1.3 to 1.0 ratio here, and we're just gonna go up to 1.7 and 1.4, and usually that will now take care of the rest of the prop wash. But depending on, this might also bring that oscillation back, and so that's where this relationship between the filters and the PIDs kind of gets interesting, and also confuses lots and lots of people. But keep sticking around, and I talk about it pretty frequently, and the more times you hear somebody talk about it and show it, the closer you'll get to figuring it out. You can also head over to CiottiFPV.com. There we go. There's the oscillation. So we've now gone over the limit on the PIDs. I could try to push that D-term filter slider up some more. I don't think I will, though, because the tune is pretty close to being dialed. There was a strange noise that it started to make there. Let me just do a quick check here. Yeah, no, we look okay. Sometimes you just can't get absolutely all the prop wash out. This is on a Mobula 6 2024 frame. I don't hate this frame. I also don't love this frame. It's just it's kind of a wibbly wobbly frame. I bet you if we put this into a Cockroach 65 V3 frame, I would be able to crank the PIDs up a little bit more. But the tune's not bad, and it's 5 minutes before midnight, and so I'm gonna bring the tune back down. Moving this D-term slider up beyond 1.8 is just kind of insane, and so this is pretty aggressive already. So I'm gonna leave this alone, and I'm just gonna back the tune off a little bit, and we'll fly this thing. We'll back it off to where it was. That is also a nice and clear signal that like this is a good tune now. We went a little bit too far, right? This is tuning without black box. You keep pushing shit up. Well, for you guys, it's this way. You keep pushing shit up until it oscillates like you just saw, and then you back it off a little bit, and that's your limit. As it gets beat up, as the props get beat up, as the motors get beat up, we're going to have to pull these sliders down a little bit. But right now, today, this tune is about as good as it's going to get. That's how you tune without black box. Keep pushing shit in the more aggressive direction until it freaks out, and then back it off a little bit. So we were actually not able to push the tune that much further than where whoever tuned it, I'm assuming Rosser, had it. It is significantly more aggressive though, right? We're at well, let's see. I took the screenshot. Oh, I didn't take a screenshot of the actual values though. But from what I remember, the P gains were down in the 40s. Now we're up in the 50s and 60s. And the D gains actually, I think they were pretty similar. Feed forward is cranked up. That's just really stick feel. It's whatever. So yeah, I wasn't able to get much extra PID authority out of this, but it's the way that it handles prop wash and the way that it feels in the air are significantly better now than where it was. In fairness, I did change the filtering from where the previous tune was, so and that changes the delay, so it's not a perfect one-to-one, but the PIDs that it had, to me, in my experience with TinyWhoops, were pretty awkward, and they're now, you know, a little bit more sort of dialed in, and the flight feel is significantly different now, which is always a good thing. I have Why are you taking so long to charge those batteries? Let's run the rest of this 260. I've now turned the tune back down. And so let's just run the rest of this battery out and see what's what. I'm going to put it into some more prop wash to see really where it's at. Oh my god. Okay, so that was a... Why is it acting so weird all of a sudden? It's... I put the tune back, but it's oscillating again. What? Oh boy. Now it sounds weird. What is happening here? What is... It started make... Oh, it had a leaf. It had a leaf inside of it. It started making a weird noise on that last battery. And then... And now it's acting funny. What's happening here, Wandering Whoop? Let me... I did not do, like, any kind of a nut and bolt check on this thing. So let me... Oh, there's screws backed all the way out of it. What the hell? This one canopy screw was like... I can't believe... I'm shocked I didn't see that. The one canopy screw was about to fall out. That's not going to help anything. Alright, hold on. Got a nut and bolt check stuff. Oh my god, all these screws are... All the screws are loose. What in the world? This thing was a mess. Alright. Well. This should be a lot better. Are the motor screws tight at least? It doesn't look like any of them are backed out. Man, that canopy was incredibly loose. Motor screws seem like they're tight. Alright, let's try that. I have a feeling that's going to be way better. That screw is literally about to fall out. Would you look at that? No, we still got a little... No, that was just prop wash. I thought it was oscillating, but it was just prop wash. Yeah, the oscillation's gone now. Hey. Ah! Okay. Teddy, look at this TinyWhoop. Look at this one. You want to eat this one? Don't you do it. Don't you dare. You can eat this one. I didn't pay for it. Back up, buddy. Back up. Back up. Back up, little boy. Oh, you see that? It ate that prop wash. I could actually hear it eating the prop wash on that. When you do these, like, turns like that, you're really putting it into dirty air. When I do these really aggressive prop wash turns, yeah, prop wash is really, really, really almost completely gone. Certain times when you turn these things, are like when you're flying forward and you turn it around perfectly, and instead of the world perfectly going like this, all of a sudden it perfectly goes like that. That is like, it is in its dirty air, and sometimes you can actually hear it. Like, you'll hear the motors like, and what's cool is you won't see any prop wash or any jello or anything in the goggles, but you'll hear it. And so you'll get this really perfectly smooth, like everything's coming at you, and then everything goes away perfectly smooth with no shaking, but you'll hear it going brrr, and that's it eating the prop wash, and it just did that. Again, that's a sign that your tune is like dialed, and that response time is where it needs to be, and it's just eating all of that. It's pushing, right? It's in its dirty air, and so the dirty air wants it to do this, but it's firing up one motor, firing up the other, firing up one motor, and every once in a while you can literally hear that. It's really, really cool. Doesn't happen often. Let's go to a couple of 300 mAh batteries. So there we go. There's everything that I'm going to do to this Wandering Whoop. It's flying really, really nice now. Let me get the throttle expo dialed in. So in order to dial in throttle expo, I have to pick a battery, either 300 or 260. Most people are going to fly this thing on 300s, so I'm going to dial it in on a 300 mAh battery. The way that I do that is flying really low to the ground and also checking the... So flying low to the ground, you're going to get to feel how good or bad your the throttle resolution is. And then... What is going on with the voltage? There it is. Oh boy. It doesn't like the 300 mAh battery. Boy, those 260s are light. Interesting. Now that the battery has discharged a little bit, it's fine. Oh, I need to change the... oh boy. The low voltage cutoff. It's tangled up in some wires. Alright, I gotta actually revisit the tune real quick. Maybe I will try turning that D-term slider up more. Back off, buddy. Maybe 1.8 is a bit much. Let's hook it back up to Betaflight real quick. I'm incredibly curious, though. I'm going to turn it all the way up to 2.0 for science. I'm going to turn it all the way up just to kind of see. When you have it oscillating, that's your chance to really figure out what's happening. So let's crank it all the way up. And it should get worse. This is probably not enough D-term filtering. If you get the filtering just right, you can run additional PID gains. That is really the carrot on the string for me in terms of filtering. I don't like dealing with filtering, but if you nail it, you can really be aggressive with the PIDs. It's worse. All right, cool. So that's really good to know. That means that we're going in the wrong direction. So instead of 1.8, we're going to now go down to 1.6, and that'll probably be about right. Again, that's how you tune without black box. Connect and PID tuning and filter settings. So now let's go from 2.0 down to 1.8 down to 1.6, and that's probably about as good as it's going to get without having black box. Minimum frequency 100, Q factor 300, gyro RPM 1, low pass 2. That looks good. Save it here. Take another quick look at the PIDs. 1.7. What? Oh. I didn't save it when I moved the PIDs back down. Well, that's weird. Let's just move them down a little bit, because it wasn't that bad. 1.6, 1.3. Cool. So this will probably be damn near perfect. I'm gonna take a little bit of feed forward out of it too. I don't like. Whatever. Everybody else likes feed forward. I'll go in the middle. I'll deal with it. Okay, cool. Make sure I save that. I need to dial in the throttle mid. I also need to dial in this maximum cell voltage. I need to change this to 4.4 so it doesn't think a fully charged high volt battery is a 2S battery. And then minimum cell. What are these batteries bouncing back to that I'm running through this? Let me see real quick. Bouncing back to 3. Yeah, I can drop this down a little bit. 3.0 and 3.2. There we go. All right. 3, 3.2, 4.4. Good to go. All right. Subtle changes. That should be it. Last thing I'll have to dial in is the throttle expo midpoint, but I will do that in the OSD. All right. Here we go. Man, it got the voltage right away this time. Very weird. It's still got a little bit of... still got a little bit of oscillation to it. It's doing it worse on the 300 mAh battery. On the heavier battery, let me lock in the throttle mid. 33, 30, 31, 30, 31. All right, let me just nail that down real quick. 35, yeah, that's way too high. We'll do 32. That'll probably be about right. Oh, yeah, now it's feeling good. Oh, no, there it is. Ah! Oh, man. You also clean this lens. See that little turn that I just did? That's really putting it in the dirty air. That kind of thing. You want more momentum like that. That's when you can kind of hear it. Yeah, there was a little bit. Crash recovery helped me, but not enough. Oh, I made a huge correction to get it through that gate because it was not lined up right. Oh, so close. Oh, so close. Teddy! Teddy! Teddy, let me out! Teddy, I want out! Let me... No! Oh, shit. It's unrecoverable. Oh, damn it. Yeah, I need to tweak the tune just a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more. Wow, this is, man, I'm shocked. So with these exact motors on the Newbie Drone Cockroach V3 frame, I can be much more aggressive with the tune. This Mobula 6 2024 frame is not doing it for me. Very interesting. I remember that, I mean, the main thing that I don't like about this frame is that it's the ducts are too high, and the tips of the propellers go under the duct when you hit stuff. Like so, well, although it's almost high enough. Yeah, it's not too bad. The cockroach frame is better though. But yeah, the difference in this frame's ability to isolate the AIO from the vibes of the motors and the props and everything is very noticeable. Interesting stuff. I wish I could make 2 changes on this thing. I'd put it onto a cockroach frame. What was I just doing? We just finishing this battery up? No, I want to tweak the tune just a little bit. I'll do it in the OSD. So, profile, simplified tuning. Let's just take this down a touch. 1.5 and 1.2. That might be all we need. It's just ever so slightly over the limit right now, over the edge. I wanted to clean the lens. But I forgot. Oh God. Oh man, I put the low battery warning is too low now. It's too low. I don't like it that far down. That's a little bit better, but this battery was very discharged, and so we got to run a fresh battery on it to really be able to tell. So one more time into Betaflight, and then we'll be good. So we want here and then power and battery. So yeah, it was correct. 3.1 and 3.3. Save it. PID tuning. Bring this D term down to 1.5. Just add a little bit of extra filtering. I'm tempted to screw around with this Q factor on the dynamic notch filter. So the dynamic notch filter is what's targeting frame resonance. And this is a floppy frame. The higher Q factor is going to remove filtering. Let's actually try this. Let's add a second dynamic notch. I did not make a very significant change to this D-term filter slider. Let me do that, and then I'm going to turn the tune back up. 4, 5, 6, 7. I mean, we're here. You know, we might as well go all the way in with this, and play around with all this stuff. All right, I've got one more 300 mAh battery. We've got an extra dynamic notch. If there's like a second sort of harmonic or just like a second spike of vibration, that second dynamic filter is going to target it. Let's see. Nope. So that second today. So that second dynamic is adding extra delay, and that has made the situation worse. And so in theory, it's not an issue where there's a second spike, because otherwise it would be there could be. It could be that, but we're adding too much delay now. I did turn the tune back up as well, but watch this. I'm going to leave the tune where it's at. I'm going to take this dynamic notch out. Save it here. I'm also going to make this dynamic notch a little bit more narrow. So I just removed a bunch of delay. And now, let's see. Oh, shit. I think I forgot to click save. 400 Q factor. All right, let's see where this puts us. The battery is still freshly charged, so this is the time to make the changes. Let's see what happens here. All right. Nope. I think it's from the tune. I think I've pushed the tune too far. Let's quickly fix that in the OSD. Simplified. 1, 2, 3, 4. Back to where it was. 1, 2, 3, 4. Back to where it was. Save and exit. Yep. PIDs are too much. Well. All right. One last change. I'm going to make that dynamic notch wider again. That's where it was performing best. All right, we're there. And then I am actually going to back the tune off a little bit more. Because as you guys saw, as soon as I backed those sliders down, it helped a lot, right? That helped significantly. And so this is putting that dynamic notch back exactly where it was. And now we're going to come in here, and we're going to actually take this down to 1.4 and 1.1. Yeah, this Whoop frame, this Mob 6 2024 frame is not, it's not the one. I don't have any rigs on motors that are anywhere. I have rigs on motors that are way more beat up than these with a much more aggressive tune than this. And so, yeah, this is about it. Our P gains are still up in the high 40s and 50s. Our D gains are still up into the 40s and 50s. So this is still a more aggressive tune. Ooh, the D max up a little bit more too. That'll help it out. Anything else I can do here? I think that's about it. All right. That's it. That's going to be where it lives. Let's fly the rest of these batteries. Render says, just throw that frame in the garbage, put a cockroach frame on it. There's actually 2 of these Mobula 6 2020. Well, no, there's an air frame in there. Yeah, we're only supposed to make 1 change, so I'm going to leave it. I'm going to follow the rules and just make that 1 change. Maybe I'll put a cockroach frame in the box, though. And see, now we're under control. And the tune's good. Like, there's 1 little hit of prop wash. I'm going to clean this lens. There's 1 little hit of prop wash, but then it's fine after that. And so, yeah, this tune is rocking for what it is. But yeah, this tune is now at the limit of this build. And so, you know, one of my favorite things about Kebab from FPV Cycle is that he refused to do any tuning through Betaflight. Which you would think, like, well, that's annoying, but no. He took all of his tuning he did all of his tuning mechanically. And that is very cool, because we learn a lot when someone does that, especially someone that has access to and budget for different frames, different motors, all kinds of fun stuff. And so that, to me, is like one of Rugi's main legacies to FPV is normalizing mechanical tuning, and showing the value of mechanical tuning. So to get the tune on this rig better, we would have to mechanically tune it with a better frame or smoother motors. The motors are plenty smooth. The props are plenty smooth too, so we kind of know that that's not the issue. I have a lot of experience with these frames, and so I know, you know, what certain frames will do and what certain frames won't do. Ow. Fart. Fart. Get out of there, fart. Get out of there, you fart bag! Oh. I'm just getting sloppy now. I'm trying to do a cool little combo that I just thought of here. I'm trying to go in here, out the side, and then big giant power loop. I wanted to keep it a secret though. That's hard but cool. Oh! It just bounced off. Oh! Oh yeah! Oh, that was actually crash prevention screwing me over, believe it or not. Oh, and now I'm stuck next to the PSVR 2. Nope, it ain't coming out. Teddy, knock it out of there. Do something of value for a change, you little rat. Ooh. My fucking thighs are on fire. I've been exercising quite a bit over the last couple of weeks, and I am sore as a motherfucker. Wow! Tedward, Spaghettward, look at what has gotten into you. Go ahead, chase it. Woo! He's pissed tonight. Oh, I'm like stuck on something. What's it? Why is it bobbling like that? Oh my God, Teddy! Oh, he's smacking the gate all around. Homie's pissed. Oh, it's. I don't know what the deal is. Teddy, what are you doing to it? Teddy, you messed up the gate and everything. What's up? Oh my God. The micro V antenna had hooked itself on the side of the gate. So it was sitting like that, which is why it was weirdly wobbling. That's super funny. All right, a little bit more flying. Oh God, no more flying on this battery. Oh God, no! I don't want to stand up. Oh, that poor battery just absolutely got its ass handed to it. Let me get it right on the charger. That was mean. Teddy, relax, dude. My God. Oh, crybaby, man. Oh shit, these 260s are ready. This thing flew great on the 260s. I pulled that battery all the way down to 3.5. Yikes. It'll be fine, though. What? What has gotten into you? Insane. Whoa. Big ass oscillation. What was that about? Not so tough now, are you? Oh my God, Teddy! Whoa! Whoa! So this is on a little 260 mAh lava battery, which shaves like a gram. This rig is 18 grams. Oh man, I'm getting some oscillation on these batteries now. Woo! Man, it feels great. A gram lighter. The tune that was on here was, I guess, very safe. I don't guess, but if Chris tuned it like this, oh dog, why you gotta rip your toys all up? Yeah, I guess Chris tuned it to be super safe. I guess the thought process during the tuning was like keep it ultra, ultra, ultra safe. I don't know. It's a TinyWhoop. Like whatever. You can just go into the OSD, bring the tune back down, and you'll be good to go. Ooh, yikes! Oh, come on now. Why do I have such... I have a super hard time with this gap. This chair... This double chair gap here. I seriously think it's like a mental thing because, like, whenever I come up to it, I'm like, don't fuck it up this time, you jackass. It is kind of a small gap, though, maybe? I don't know. Oh, don't crash into the... plants. Let me just fly for a minute. Hey, come on now. Ah, I almost hit that new move that I figured out the other night. Let's see if I can get it. Get off of there. Get off of there. Ah. Trying to do it too big. Ah! Man, it is hard to do. Nope. Oh man, I just full throttled this thing to the ground. That was awful. Ah! Getting worse. So that antenna is sitting up real high, which is going to make the low elevation pass damn near impossible. Let's try it again, though. Okay, that was just me being a buffoon. Oh, Teddy! Well then. Damn. Okay. Okay. Can, yeah, you know, I noticed it the other night. I think this lava lamp is shot. I've had this one for a long-ass time. I need to get a replacement lava top part. I'm bummed I can't get the tune more aggressive on this, but it's a vast improvement from where it was. Okay, here we go. Actually, I'm going to just back it off another touch. Back down to 1.3, 1.0. What was that about? Oh! Oh, God, that looks so cool. Oh, my God, it looks so good dropping down into that. I really like those newbie drone gates as a hanging cube like that. All I did was just put, like, Velcro on the corners. Like, see, a little Velcro strip there. And then Velcro between them like that, and then it's the perfect size for these ceiling tiles. See it? And then there's the VRX. Oh God! Oh, I ain't gonna be able to get that out. Oh, fart. I kind of over rotated it. Today. What are you gonna do? Oh! He made quite the noise on that one. Oh shit! Oh! I can't fly because I'm laughing so hard. Oh shit! Oh yo! Oh boy! Oh! Oh God! He's so pissed off. Why is he so pissed off at the wandering whoop? Oh God! He hates the wandering whoop so much more than mine. Yo, he's knocking it out of the air now. He's only ever knocked a TinyWhoop out of the air like one time. I can't fly because I'm laughing so hard. Oh, my stomach hurts so bad. Oh shit. Oh my God. He's being completely insane tonight. What has gotten into him? What do you have against the wandering whoop, you little shit? Oh, I'm cornered. Come on, bring that shit on, bro. Come on. Bring it. Come and get some. Alright, I think I got one more battery. Oh man, my stomach hurts so bad. He hates it. He fucking hates it, bro. He hates the wandering whoop. Why? Why do you hate it? Oh, what did the wandering whoop do to you, buddy? Jesus. Oh man, I got 2 batteries left. I'm just gonna run one though. Oh my God, that is just hysterical. I wonder if it's the X. Oh, I bet you it's the LEDs. This thing has the extra LEDs on it. That's the only difference. Oh shit. Oh! 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 All right, let's What was that? Crash recovery acted real weird there. Oh, nope, not lined up. Easy. Ooh, you know what I was thinking the other day? I wonder if I can make a path back. So there's, I want to do, ooh! Get over. I want to do more back here. Oh, God, it's hard, though. Oh, that is doable. Oh, and it's cool looking. Oh, uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh, no. Oh, it's back. It's fine. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. I also want to do this more. Oh, that is a tiny little gap, though. Hold on, down here. Wait, now, how do I get into that cleanly? Come up over here. I gotta get the elevation under control. Oh, farts. Ah! Come on now. In there, and then there's another gap over PS5 gap. That's pretty tight there too. This is impossible over here. I think this is the biggest gap. This is the Mazda 2 piston connecting rod gap. And then, yeah, you just do that nice. You do a throttle blip up. So you do a single throttle blip to get the elevation, and then let it pitch back, and then fire it out over the TV. Oh, but the TV is high. It's hard to clear the TV. No, that's just stupid. Let's get this better. Get the elevation. There we go. That's the move. Oh! And did you see I got a low battery warning even though I'm flying without OSD because of the cool little setup? And now if I want, I can flip the OSD back on, look at the battery, 3.33, 344, 342. Good time to stop. Minute and 40, what happened? These 260 mAh batteries are of varying degrees of beaten to deathness. All right, last one. This is actually the last one. We'll get a little bit of Teddy, a little bit of freestyle. Nope, this battery's dead. That was the last battery, just as planned. Thanks for hanging, friends. Bird Person says, tonight's tune session was super helpful. Don't always rewatch the streams, but this one for sure. Thanks. You're certainly welcome, man. Sorry, I know I missed a ton of chat comments tonight. Come on back on Friday, ask any questions that you had, and we'll dive in for sure. But yeah, tonight was all about the Wandering Whoop, and there was a lot of stuff to get done. You know, setting them back up from scratch takes some time, and then tuning it from scratch took some time as well. And it was admittedly a bit of an excuse to try some TinyWhoop tuning things that I've been wanting to kind of screw around with. You know, I don't want to send this out with a tune that's so razor's edge that the next person starts beating up the props, and it's unflyable. You know, I don't know if this is going to go to somebody that knows how to tune or whatever. And so I wanted to make sure that I got the filtering as dialed as I could, the PIDs as dialed as I could. But at the same time, you know, I wanted this to fly as closely as possible to like one of my builds as I could. And basically what I'm saying there is that I wanted it to fly as close as possible to like a dialed in TinyWhoop. You know, when that first battery that we flew, the prop wash was pretty gnarly. And it was very loose. It did not feel anything like pretty much all of my builds. Any of my builds, I should say. And so, yeah, I know we did an awful lot, but hey, it's a really good platform to do that. Hopefully the next person that gets this is blown away by how good it flies, and they're like, wow, what's the magical secret sauce? Moon Traveler 0702, 32,000 kV motors, awesome. These are the new HQ ultralight props, 1.2 by 0.9 by 3. I would actually rather this have the old school, more pitchy HQ ultralight props. They would actually help a little bit with the tune, potentially, because they make a little bit more thrust, but they're still super lightweight. I just don't have a set of those in pink at the moment. I have some on the way. I have a little bit more time with this, so I might, I don't know, we'll see. I think that LED still works, right? I didn't break the last remaining LED, did I? I think I saw it flashing. Yep, I didn't break the last remaining LED. The other 3 are broken, though. But yeah, very cool. It's huge thank you to Jesse Perkins for sending this over. And thank you to Custom and or Nightwing for building this. And yeah, this was a blast. I hope you guys got a lot out of it. Again, I know that I missed a ton of comments. I do apologize for that. Come on back Friday at 7 o'clock Eastern time, and it'll be a normal stream where I answer absolutely everybody that tags me. CiottiFPV.com to support me. Patreon is the absolute best way for you to do that. $3 whole a month. That's like 7.5 cents per hour of live stream content. Buy something on my Etsy store. The pin vices are going to be up there soon. Book a one-on-one session with me through Fiverr, or just message me somewhere. All my contact info is on the website. I love you. Bye. Here's some more 5-inch flying at a very cool local spot. A pretty famous local spot here in Atlanta, actually. For some reason, I had the camera set up vertical. I don't understand why. Weird. Love you guys. Bye. See you Friday.
Thank you.